Hey guys, Professor Pat here. Holidays of 2020 are almost upon us, and I wanted to put out this video in response to the biggest mistakes I have seen during the COVID pandemic and ongoing through the pandemic, and some of the struggles that we've all had. Now, I'm going to try to keep it to 10 mistakes. There are more, but again, I was just trying to put a thought provoking video together for you guys as we see increased restrictions almost North America wide. And I'm filming this video on December 22nd, 2020. So, number one, in terms of biggest mistakes made by school owners during the pandemic. They have entered at one point the COVID funk. What is the COVID funk? Well, I don't know really how to articulate it. I don't know if it's a depression, but let's just say it is a state of inaction. One of the major issues that I am just not able to seem to get any good traction with the vast majority of my clients is people will not plan for 2021. I don't know why. We are experts at the pivot now in rescheduling and canceling and changing events. And there will be a significant opportunity cost to people that will not plan for their 2021. As I said, I would say more than 50% of my clients, they'll just either kind of refuse or they won't engage, or they'll just give me some completely evasive answer and vague reason. And the COVID funk is just a state of inaction or just unproductivity. They're just, nothing's happening. Some people are affected with this from a day to a week. Some people it's been months in some instances. And it's just a dark place, and there's nothing beneficial about it on an individual level. There's nothing beneficial to it on a professional level for your martial arts school. I'm all up for people taking a mental health break if they have to. You want to, jet off to Hawaii or Costa Rica for a couple weeks, and, you need that break. I understand, but this just weird COVID funk it's been a real issue. Number two, in the biggest mistakes made by school owners during the pandemic is a lack of an emergency fund or just a lack of financial controls within your company. And that has been probably the biggest killer of businesses during this pandemic. From a consultant point of view, it's very difficult to get people to talk about their finances. They think like I'm trying to be their dad and lecturing them, but it's absolutely critical to having a sustainable business platform, having those financial controls in place. The other thing that this lack of financial controls have had is things like deferrals versus forgiveness. So we have seen, multiple closures and multiple challenges throughout the pandemic. They are going to be catapulted to the forefront again at a couple different points. For example, in the United States, when the CARE Act's protections cease, that'll be one. I know in Canada, there's a lot of great deferral programs in place. And when they end, I believe it's at the end of June, there's going to be another round of devastation hitting all small businesses, not just the martial arts industry. So guys, we really need to get that aspect of the house in order. Number three, they never did Zoom, or when they did do Zoom, as soon as they opened back up, they canceled it. And some people were late to the party with the Zoom. They got it going, and at least they maintained it. And now, in many jurisdictions, you're back. Okay. I want to go over a few things just to clear the air. Not many people or nobody likes Zoom. Not instructors, not owners, not most of the students. And it's funny, every time I bring Zoom up, I feel like my clients are lecturing me about how it's not good, they don't like it, or it's not sustainable. And I agree. And I understand. But, you're the same school owners that want support from our members without giving anything in return. And that's not how the world works. So the Zoom has been a real issue. And then again, some people just did such an amazing job. And then they shut it down once they opened it back up and they didn't continue it. That was a mistake. And the Zoom or the online different iterations, like just having an online e-learning platform, whether that be an online university, doesn't just have to be Zoom. It doesn't have to just be a YouTube channel. You can have a paywall there. There's just so many different things that you could and should have done. And that was a major lost opportunity. Going back to the financial control, number 4, a huge mistake people have made is the people that were fiscally responsible and were smart have become complacent. I've worked very hard with all of my clients. And if you guys would like to talk to one another, or if there's anyone out there watching this video that's not one of my clients, we worked very hard from day one to fortify our position financially. And what that has done, it has created a level of complacency. People know they could be closed another year and they're going to be okay. And people aren't super concerned. So they're just being a little bit laissez-faire about the situation. They're not pushing. And that is another critical mistake. When you're in a full lockdown, it doesn't matter what you're doing online. You've got more hours in a day than you did when your school's open. And this time is being squandered. And, the people that have fortified themselves well financially, this should not be an extended vacation. The real entrepreneurs that are killing it are doing better financially now than they were before. And there's a whole list of reasons for that. And if you guys want or you have any questions, post them here and I'll address them for free, no cost. If you guys want to book an individual coaching call, reach out to me. But that is the reality. And everybody's like, oh my God, everyone's on the precipice of disaster. And that is the furthest thing from the truth, but it has caused a level of complacency. Number 5, 6, and 7. It's interesting, and I want you to really hear what I have to say about it, because a lot of you are going to think I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth, and I'm not. But number 5 is squandered government subsidies. So for the bulk of the viewers, it's going to be relevant in Canada and the United States. And in each jurisdiction, there was extensive subsidies available. In the United States with the SBA, we had the Triple P and we had the EIDL. And for most companies, that was tens upon tens upon tens, in some cases, hundreds of thousands of dollars in one shot. And then in Canada, there's been a wide variety of subsidies available. And I know one guy, and he got the $40,000 CEBA loan in Canada, closed up shop, and went on a cross-country vacation. And just basically shut it down. Was the richest guy in Canada for like 3-4 months. Then the money runs out. And I actually know a couple people that have done this. And then they're back bitching at the government about the lockdowns. And they didn't try Zoom. They didn't try to stay open. They didn't try to retain the business. They got their 40 grand and went on vacation for months. And I'm like, just a complete squandered opportunity with all these government subsidies they had in place. And It's tragic. It's completely tragic. Six, much more common in Canada, is people are not maximizing the subsidies that are available, whether that be the rent subsidy that you do not need any landlord involvement that's available now through the CRA website, or the CEBA or the CERB or the wage subsidy or the multiple grants that are available from the municipal and provincial level. People are just not maximizing these subsidies, and it's like, oh, it's a lot of paperwork, or it's not really worth it. I'm like, well, the subsidies are in place for the next 7 months. This is going to mean $7,000 a month to you. 7 times 7, 49 grand. So it's not worth a day, an afternoon or two of paperwork. I'm happy for you, and I'm proud of you, and I say that with more sincerity, because if you can just give away $49,000 that's available to everybody and you don't need it, you're certainly in a much better financial position than me and virtually everybody I know. So that is another major issue. That's number 6. We're not maximizing the government subsidies. And then number 7, many businesses out there are relying on the government subsidies. So we've got squandered the government subsidies. We're not maximizing them because you should. I know all kinds of people in Canada and the United States, inside the martial arts industry, outside the martial arts industry. They have shell corps. They incorporate secondary companies. They're running revenue between multiple entities. They are doing deferred billing, deferred revenue, just to make sure they leverage all those subsidies. But number 7, don't rely on the subsidies. We should have a sustainable platform without any of these subsidies. And these subsidies, you should be collecting them, maximizing them, fortifying your financial position. And because we don't know how long this is going to last. Obviously, we have 2 different vaccines in play now, more to come. But the modeling is obviously off. It is not an exact science, just like the pre-pandemic modeling was not an exact science. We don't know how long it's going to be till there is widespread availability of vaccination. We don't know how long people are going to be encouraged to wear masks. We don't know how long people are going to be skittish in returning to an intimate physical activity like martial arts. We just don't know. So we want to have that path to sustainability without relying on the subsidies. And too many of you are. So again, I just want to review those. Don't squander them. Maximize them to fortify your financial position, but don't rely on them. Okay? Moving on to number 8. We have fallen off social media, our professional social media in particular. And a lot of you have been very inactive. And when you are sporadically active, a lot of you are being sporadically active on your personal accounts, and it's negative, and it's against the lockdowns, anti-mask, the ridiculousness, the unjustness, the unfairness of being able to go to Walmart and Costco and not small businesses, and you're talking about transmission rates. I'm no different, but it is a mistake. We don't want to, and if you want to be very vocal about your opinion, I understand that, I respect that, but let's be posting the good, positive stuff that's going to bring a lot of things and a lot of positivity to our business. And some of kind of these dueling things that's going on, you're a lot of you are talking about, our rights are being invaded, whether it be in the United States, you're talking about the U.S. Constitution, or in Canada, you're talking about the Charter of Rights, and you're being like, our freedom, our freedom, our freedom. And then you're like, well, we need support, support, support. And those things are at odds with one another. You don't want the government to impose health restrictions, and you don't want the government to impose its will upon you by doing what it deems right, whether it's right or not, to protect you from the pandemic, but you want them to protect you financially. And a lot of you are making these statements online, and they're very contradictory. And I don't think it's a good look. Yeah. So that's number 8. It's the social media. I don't mind people getting up and dying on the hill that they feel is right for them, but don't just blow your business off completely and just be going rogue with the conspiracy theories. It's not good. Number 9, you know, they're trying with the financial controls, and I have people telling me like, oh, like I don't want to cancel my insurance. It's like a pain in the ass. And I'm like, well, it's hundreds of dollars a month. And then I see people, they're stopping advertising almost completely or completely. And that is a mistake. It is an absolute mistake. A lot of people were advertising their 12 days of Christmas. Some of the people who were on point have been pushing spring break camp, winter camp that's going on now, summer camp. Most of you not, because you just can't plan into 21, which is a mistake. But number 9, stopping advertising. It's bad for a myriad of different reasons. You could be advertising deferred membership. Sign up now. And, you can start whenever you want in 2021. Whenever the public health emergency abates, you can begin your membership. Just to stop advertising now is just, I think it's irresponsible. I think a lot of people have done it, but there are so many things to advertise for, whether it be upcoming camps, upcoming events in 2021, deferred membership start dates, virtual. And you want to be on the forefront of everybody's mind. If you understand how marketing works, just the basics, the more you're in people's faces, the quicker you're going to have a resurgence when things do begin to stabilize. It's a terrible mistake. I've been seeing it go on now for 8 or 9 months. I try to tell people there's just so many different areas you can save money, especially when you're locked down. To stop advertising, everybody that watches this video needs to reconsider immediately, and it's a mistake. And then 9 and 10 is linked very closely together. But many of you, not all, but many of you have failed to innovate. And famous American business consultant from the early 20th century, Peter Drucker, all business is marketing and innovation. What have you guys done new with your company? So we're going to review the 10 biggest mistakes. And I'm hoping that if you watch this video, you will correct these right away. You've entered the COVID funk at some point. Are you there now or not? I don't know. 2, your financial controls, your emergency reserve fund was not on point. You're looking to save money in the wrong places. You're not getting it done. 3, you never did Zoom. You never had an online digital plan. That's a mistake. If you did have it, you let it lapse, an issue. 3, people that had good financial controls have become complacent. 5, you squandered government subsidies. 6, you never maximized them. 7, you're relying on the government subsidies. 8, you fell off social media for your business in particular. And most of the social media you do have on the personal level is negative. It's certainly not empowering or positive. You made the absolutely rookie mistake to stop advertising. 10, you have failed to innovate. And those are the 10 biggest mistakes that I have seen. And I would challenge you guys to go through these 10 things, like innovate. What are you doing new today that you were not doing, you know, before the pandemic? Where's your advertising at? How's your social media subsidies? Special note to all the American clients, the triple P is going to be refunded. We have a moving target to when it will be refunded, when the major banks will roll out the triple P refunding. It's a bizarre time of year with the holidays and the bank closures. We want to be on that because that funding will be gone like that. And then I would assume that our new incoming president will refund that triple P. But you won in the first round. Guys, if you have any questions about this, please reach out to me. Try to put these problems behind you and make this correction. We're closer now than ever with the vaccine. And I just pray that you guys can sit down and do your 2021 calendar. And I would just ask yourself, what's stopping you? I asked a couple of my clients today, and they're like, well, fear. I'm like, what does that mean? Fear, what's the fear? That you have to cancel? Cool. We did it hundreds of times already. Guys, you guys need to move forward. And, it's a popular meme, especially in this pandemic, or a slogan. No one's coming to save you. You're telling the government not to take your freedoms, but then you're asking for bailout money. It's contradictory, and as entrepreneurs, we need to lead the way. More importantly, as martial artists, I believe you need to espouse what you believe in a positive way. And when you're building a tribe, which is a martial arts school, it's not going to be for everybody. You have to do what you think is right for you and your students. That's the most important thing. That's all anybody can ask of you. And I wish you all a very happy holiday season. I will be off a few days throughout the holidays. I will be available around the clock for emergencies. If you have any questions, message me. Thank you so much.